You're listening to For Better and Worse with Jess and Rach. He's got that look about him.
He does. I hope that he starts making sounds directly into the mic.
It is your favorite thing.
Mm-hmm.
Coors Allen.
Is that his middle name?
Yeah. Have you given your dogs middle names?
Yes. Mosby's full name is Morgan P. Freeman.
Right.
And then Birdie is Birdie Louise after
Yes.
her
R.I.P.
predecessor.
Her predecessor.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, guys. Sorry, this is
Hi.
a surprise. We have a
It's
woman
me.
who's hard to keep tabs on. Everybody's very lucky.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't know. I like to pretend like we pay you to come on.
Oh, no. Certainly not. I feel like I pay you to get me out of my house.
Hey.
Yeah.
So she's easy to come by. Don't think she's not. Hey.
The rumors are true.
Rumors are true. Rumors on the street.
They are.
Jerry's here, everyone.
Hello.
It's our friend Jeri. How many times have you been on our podcast now? 3?
I don't know, 3, maybe?
Okay, cool. Great.
Yeah, I think so.
And if I
I'm-
don't know you by now,
I was going to say, there are people who know me only through your podcast.
that is the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard, probably.
It was, honestly, I had never been more proud.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
Like, embarrassing for them. Like, not just, I'm like, it would be like going up to, like, Ariana Grande and be
Did
like,
you just compare me to Ariana Grande?
you are my Ariana Grande
Oh my
of
God, thank you
podcasters.
so much.
Look at you.
You should hear my whistle tone right now with this friggin' sickness I have going on.
The sickness happened as soon as she stepped into my house
Yes.
with all my cats.
Okay, I live with 2 children, one of which is now going to school, and so he is bringing home all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I took a COVID test yesterday, negative.
Right.
And then so when I show up,
Are they positive anymore? This is
Yes.
what I want to know.
they are,
Okay, good.
as of like 2 months ago. Then Sierra scared me. She's like, well, at least you know you don't have COVID unless you have a different strain. And I'm like, why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
Why would you fucking say that to me? So yeah, that's negative. But I am super allergic to cats and forgot to take allergy medicine before I came. Walked in here, Cat Central.
It is Cat Central. I
Mhm.
vacuumed, but the dander lives on.
Well, and cats know that I'm allergic, and so they crawl out from their holes and they're like,
I wonder-
come to die.
Yeah.
I don't know Harry Potter
the boy
quotes.
who lived,
Yeah.
come to die.
Yeah, that's me.
The girl who can't breathe,
Uh-huh.
come to die.
Come to be suffocated by our dander.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Queenie's a dick, but I put her away all the time now. I don't know if anybody else, Jerry, you can't comment on this because
Okay.
you've never had a cat, right?
Well, what constitutes having a cat? Because one time my roommate in college brought a cat into the dorm and we weren't supposed to have one. And it would like climb up the back of my chair and then like jump scare surprise me.
Yeah, so you get that cats are weird.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Queenie is obsessed with food in a way that, like, I don't know if it's like hanging on from like when they're kittens, you have to feed them, like, because we got her at like 4 weeks, like you have to feed them every like 3 hours.
I thought you were going to stop it just that you have to feed them. And I'm like, I know that about
No,
most
like,
animals.
you feed them often.
Okay.
So it's like, as she no longer needs to be fed that often, she
Right.
still wants to be fed that often. And if she's not fed that often, she will get into bags of apples on the counter. She will get into...
Can cats eat apples?
Well,
Cat's got your apple. That's what they
yeah.
always say.
I don't know. I'm sorry if it's poisonous to cats. I mean, it's through the plastic, so she doesn't ever like...
Yeah, so
She
she
just
eats
ruins
plastic.
things. She just ruins the things.
Yes.
And that same with bread. Like, she'll get through the bread, bananas. She's ravenous
Wow.
in a way, like...
Well, she is from the streets.
She's a street cat.
That is exactly how she used to have to feed herself. Although
Did she?
I don't know. You found her when she was
Right,
like 3
4
days
weeks
old.
old. How
Yeah.
long is that survival instinct really? Because she was with her mother.
You can take the cat out of the streets, but you can't take the streets out of the cat.
And my dad, when he gave it to us, he really wanted us to keep her name Scrappy. He's like,
He
"This
named
is
her
Scrappy."
Scrappy.
He named her Scrappy, and I named her Queenie.
Yeah.
But Scrappy is correct.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna keep Queenie.
We're gonna keep Queenie, yeah. But she is Scrappy. She attacked me. Well, it's when you try to take the food away from her, so you literally have to like grab the scruff of her neck. I feel like such a cat mom because you can't do anything else.
Right.
But if we accidentally leave like a little bit of milk in a cup, she's full face in this. She's a milk bandit.
Yeah.
And it's like oat milk. It's like, girl, this ain't even the good stuff.
You don't even know.
Yeah, you don't even know.
We used to have stray cats outside that lived under the barn. Well, not like a barn. It was a shed, but we called it a barn.
Right.
And they would live under there, and I would take saucers of milk and I would place them by their hole, just hoping that they would come out and drink the milk, even though I couldn't touch them. I just wanted to watch them eat the milk. Drink
How
it.
did you know for the first time you were allergic to cats?
Well,
Because you have to be really allergic as a child to know, like, I
Yes.
can't touch you.
yes. So I don't know how I first found out. My dad is very allergic to cats. So if he comes in contact with cats, his eyes swell up. He gets very itchy, sneezes a lot. So I don't know why I knew, but there's one time I was walking home from school and there was a cat and it was so freaking cute. And I was like, I have to touch you. And so I was petting it, and then I touched my face, and my lip swelled all the way up to the point where it was touching my nose. And we had to go to my grandma's birthday dinner at the Schmexas Schmodehouse.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was
you
like,
you could say brands on here.
how am
We
I
don't have
gonna
any listeners.
how am I gonna cover this? This is so embarrassing. Look how big. And it was half of my top lip, just half of it. So I put lip gloss on it because what disguises something like putting shiny shit on it?
Yeah. Lip smackers.
So, yeah.
Schmip schmackers.
Schmip schmackers at the Schmexas Schmodehouse.
Do you ever
Anyway.
think about embarrassing things as you were a kid? Like, I was confronted with like the memory from when I was at my grandma's house.
Okay.
I was probably like 9 or 10, maybe 11. We're not sure. Because of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle status.
Yes.
It's hard to know how old I was in my memory.
Right.
But she had a bunch of lipsticks in her bathroom. And I'm sorry, that lady's house was so boring. Didn't have anything else to do other than play the organ and be in the bathroom. And so I go to put on some lipstick. And Revlon has always been a super stay. They've been in the super stay game for a long time. Schmevlon.
Yes. You know. Schmevlon.
And so I go to like take a tissue to take it off. Oh, it's not coming off.
Was it stained or was
it was
like
like a lip stain.
Amazing.
It was stained on there. So instead of just going out and being like, look at this beautiful lipstick, like really just laying into it, I just rub my mouth raw trying to get it off. And so I just come out of the bathroom like putting my hand slyly.
Yeah.
Embarrassing, Rachel. Just own it up.
No. Well,
What is it about that age?
It's funnier to think that you're going to get away with it. Like that is more inconspicuous than just walking out with
Lipstick on.
Yeah.
A bold lip.
Yeah. Do you remember what color it was?
Oh, it was bright. It was a bold red.
A bold red?
Ruby red. Ruby Rocher. Never forget her.
I can't pull that off.
No.
Mm-mm.
And I thought, when I was thinking about names for our daughter, I was like, Ruby is such a cute name.
It is.
And then I remembered it was my grandma's name. And you know, not that I wouldn't.
You're like, definitely not.
But you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want people thinking I was naming her after the woman that commented on my weight from ages 5 till
fair. I was
she
going to
died,
say,
you know?
it is typical for people to get inspiration from their family for names, but maybe not the ones that insult them.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We called her, Grandma Rocher.
Yeah.
That's the formal name for a grandma.
It is.
It's a full name.
That's how I was with my grandma Heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I know
would
that she
refer to
has-
her as like, hey, Grandma Rocher.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Grandma Heck. Maybe I just said grandma. I don't know. She died when I was like 5th grade. I don't remember.
I had a Grammy. I have a Grammy. I could have just called her Grandma. But no, she was Grandma Rocher.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the grandma that we actually saw
Yeah.
most of the time.
My other one was Grandma Jean. And she would insult you, but in a way that like she didn't realize it was an insult. She thought she was helping you.
Right.
So I have curly hair.
Yeah.
But I didn't necessarily know how to care for my curly hair.
As who did. In
So
the
I
early
just do my
2000s,
best. You know,
90s.
just the got to be gel.
Yes.
Just slicked all through that bitch. Crunchy curls for the win. And I would try and leave it like that for days. And so when we were going out to dinner again, because apparently that's what I did with her. It was her birthday at Schmexas Schmodehouse.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, we can get ready to go as soon as Jeri brushes her hair. I know.
Lady, we don't brush this hair.
I was like, Grandma, it's already done. I did it. This is intentional.
This is intentional.
Yeah.
I used to, because I have very straight hair, I used to scrunch my hair, but I couldn't just scrunch my hair because there was nothing to scrunch. So I would twist my hair into little like nodules, like I was an extra on Xenon.
Got it.
Cover them with gel and mousse, sleep in it, take them out, and then I would try to scrunch it.
Oh, no.
By the end of the day, it was just slivers of gel.
You know how some people, they would sleep in curlers and then they'd go to school and their hair would be these beautiful waves? Not me.
I would sleep in socks.
I would
like
go
I
there
was-
looking like Annie.
Yeah.
My hair was spiral curled, stuck to my head. I was carrot top. It was so easy for me to dress up like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer. It was just like put a Vote for Pedro shirt on, throw some glasses on, put your hair in curlers.
I used to sleep in socks like I was a child of the Great Depression.
Like you would curl your hair around socks?
Yeah. Like instead of like there were some like made for TV versions.
Yes.
Which we also had, but the socks would work really well. So you just like roll your hair up,
Okay.
tie the sock off.
Okay.
But then some would
those.
always fall out. You just
Yeah.
hope they were in the back, so it was none of your business.
I can't see back there. I don't really care.
It was none of my business what was going on back there.
I was hyper aware of the back of my hair. Like whenever I would straighten my hair, I was so focused on making sure the back was straight because I had seen other people whose fronts were perfectly straight, but then they'd have those kinky back ends, and I'm like, you got to pay attention to detail, Brienne.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yes. And I blame Lizzie McGuire for my biggest insecurity growing up, which was being an outfit repeater.
Lizzie
Nothing
McGuire.
worse. I literally had so many clothes, and I would literally like keep track in my head of like, okay, you can't wear the same thing within 2 months.
Dude, I wore this yesterday.
Right. Now
I had a different pair of blue pants on, but it was still blue pants.
Yeah, now it's cruche. Especially as like trying to dress my pregnant body.
Yeah.
I've got 3 pairs of leggings, 1 pair of pants.
So even now you're very aware, or
No,
you're like,
no,
it's
now
a
I don't
must?
care. Now
Okay,
it's
got it.
like,
You're healed.
yes, I healed a lot of that. Mostly
Good.
because I just had to ask myself, do you notice when other people are wearing the same thing?
Absolutely.
No. If they're wearing something that looks cute, you're like, you're wearing that thing again. That's cute.
Yeah.
If it's within especially a 2-week period, it's like I know you washed it, or I assume you washed it.
Well, they also. Well, don't ever assume that of me. Just know.
no, not
for
now.
Sure.
But yeah.
But I think that what are those closets where they have like minimal capsule wardrobes became like a huge thing. How are you not supposed to? That is challenging yourself if you're going to try and not wear the same thing. And you have 6 shirts.
I tried to be a capsule wardrobe person.
No, couldn't do it.
No. I just, of course.
He's under here.
Yep. But yeah, I welcome Jeri to the podcast.
Hello,
14
everyone.
minutes in now. Probably should explain why Jess isn't here. Guys, we love Jess, and we just need to be keeping her in our thoughts and prayers, if that's your thing. She's just going through it right now, and we just wanted you to know that she just
needs a break.
Needs a break. Mostly she just couldn't make it, and we needed an end of the month recap. So I was like, "Who's my other best friend that I barely speak to?" Jeri.
How else are we gonna catch up?
How else are we gonna catch up?
Yeah. Hey, Jess, if you're listening to this and you get back and your microphone smells like Lysol, That's because I'm trying to make sure that a month from now you don't catch whatever the hell's flying out of my mouth.
I would hope the virus doesn't stick around for that long. Are
Oh,
you viral?
I don't know how. I don't think
You're a
so.
viral sensation.
Oh, I don't know how science works. So my guess would be it's fine.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it can live on surfaces as long as it can live inside people.
No.
I think it's a sinus thing. I'm on the up and up.
Okay.
Even though I sound down bad, I'm up.
I think you sound great.
Thank you so much.
You were sounding bad when you first got here, and your throat was basically closing out.
I know.
She was
I
like,
know
I feel
that's
like
bad.
I have glass in my throat.
I did.
Great.
I've never felt that. Well, I have felt that, but I do think that was probably the cat. But you saved the day with some Zyrtec, some Schmertec.
And we put the cats away.
We did.
When we had my bachelorette party here, I sent my cats away.
Oh, yeah.
Have them.
And I forgot then, too. I've just been friggin' playing, what's the roulette?
Yeah.
With my allergies, with my life and cats.
You're being very cavalier about it, truly.
I know. Well, catalier.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But Jeri, so have I not seen you in the flesh since my wedding? Wow.
Is that August?
That was July.
Oh my God.
Right.
Beginning of July?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
July.
That's a long time.
What day did I get married? Was that the 8th?
I think
The
so.
9th?
8th, because I had a wedding the 9th.
Right. Okay. Great.
Maybe? Doesn't matter.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's only your anniversary.
Yeah, I'll look back in the photo
We'll
memories.
figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Oh.
Coors Allen.
I know.
He's very vocal boy.
I love that for him.
We've been working on training with Coors.
Mhm.
He's got another training on Saturday.
Did they come here?
Yes. She
Okay.
comes here.
Okay.
And I don't know what we have to work. We need to work on some leash reactivity that he's having with squirrels.
Oh my gosh, Birdie hates squirrels so much. She sees them, and the amount of nuts that these squirrels are putting in my yard, they're there all the time.
Right.
I can't
They
get her to
live
chill.
here.
I know.
They literally live here.
And they're out, like, she's never come in contact with one. So chill.
Right. They're going to run away from you. They can climb farther. I promise.
If we leave just the slightest crack in our breezeway door open, like if we're bringing in groceries or taking the kids out, Birdie will dart out the door, and her nose is to the ground. She is hunting for some kind of something.
Oh.
And the only way to get her back in, we thought food. We're like, oh, we'll just shake her treat thing.
Yeah.
Nope. What she likes is if she gets to chase you. So we literally have to make sure that she sees us, and then we take off running in the opposite direction. And then she chases after us, and we trick her back into the house.
Some trickery.
It's some cardio trickery.
I mean, she wants you to work for it. He just is like, I mean, because we don't have a fenced-in backyard, which sucks. I wish we did.
Yeah.
But we've weighed the pros and cons, and unfortunately, we're having a child, so
It is expensive.
it is expensive to fence in an entire yard.
Yes.
So, and I do not believe that electric fences would work for that. Like, it would work on Barley because she's not going to run after anything, and all she's going to need is to be shocked once and be like, "Fuck this." She's going to be afraid to go outside. Quite frankly, if we get an electric fence, Chorus would just every single time run through it,
and then run back.
Yeah.
Mosby did that one time, and then he got hit by a car. I know. Yeah, he
And you were
darted.
like,
He
"Forget
darted
this
after a
electric
cat.
fence."
Well, no, we still kept it because we didn't have any other options. But
Was that at the Canton house?
yes,
Yeah. in
he
the front
darted
yard?
across the street, and then on his way back, because he was getting shocked, he got hit by a car, and then I didn't even realize it because he just ran back into the house until I saw him, and he had hurt his paw, obviously.
Aw.
We took him to the vet. Everything was fine.
Right.
Nothing. I think he hit the
It
car.
wasn't like a fast
Yes, correct.
road.
Still scary.
Very scary. So they're just on like leads, which ideally stakes in the ground, but the stakes get ripped out by, of course, Alan here, even though they're a foot long.
Yes. And probably spun in like a corkscrew.
Yep. So we've been tying them to different things that we hope doesn't break.
Yep.
But they do eventually. So we don't expect our railing to last much longer. But
The determination.
the dedication, and we appreciate it. He's a sensitive little sweet boy. but I just don't want to be dealing with his reactive ass.
Oh yeah, especially when
come baby time.
Yep.
When I'm like, I have 2 dogs in a stroller trying to exercise everybody.
Have you given her name on the podcast?
I have not.
Oh, okay. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just didn't want to say it and then.
Oh yeah, I can. There's no reason I haven't.
Okay.
But her name is Elsie Jean. Everyone.
After my grandma.
No, after her aunt, her aunt. Who aunt?
I was gonna say, is Laura gonna want to be called an aunt?
I don't like that at all, but
Auntie.
we went with it. After her Aunt Laura, Laura's name is Laura Catherine, and her family nickname is Elsie.
I think
Like
it's
Lauren
so
Conrad,
cute.
but Laura Catherine. But Elsie is gonna be written out Elsie. So they'll miss Elsie Jean.
I love it so much. What's Jean after? You just like it?
No, his sister's middle name and her daughter's middle name. So yeah, so after both of our sisters.
She could also go by EJ then.
I know,
Which is also so cute.
and that's also Eric James's initials.
Oh.
Madison's son.
I have always wanted a name like that, and I finally just got one because my nephew can't say Aunt Jeri, so he calls me AJ.
Aww.
And AJ was my favorite Backstreet Boy.
So thank God.
I know. What a full circle moment for me. Anyway.
Manny, little
Yes.
he calls you AJ.
Uh-huh. He calls
is-
Shane and calls me AJ.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fight it. It's cute.
I love it. I hope no one ever refers to me as anything else.
I love that.
I'm rebranding.
Is he like talking? Is he like a little talking baby?
Yes. He has talked for longer than Forrest has been able to talk.
Really?
Forrest can say owl now. And he goes, owl. Hoo, hoo. I die. That
we
kid,
can't stand that kid.
he is something else.
Every time we think too hard about having like what else he will look like, Josh is like, will never look like Forrest. They
want a redheaded baby so bad.
do. And to be fair, we could like there's a like strawberry blondes.
Yep.
Like red.
Tell me why I was thinking about this morning. I'm
In
like, I wonder if
Josh's
Elsie's
family.
gonna have
like his
red hair.
dad, his grandma.
Oh,
And you know I don't believe in the Punnett Square, so
yeah. Well, there's a huge possibility then
yeah.
somewhere in the line.
I don't believe that it's like only on one side of the family with something. It's like and because guess what, guys? You know my beef with Punnett Squares. If it doesn't fit into that, they just say it's a genetic abnormality. And it's like, let's not pretend like we know.
I am a walking genetic abnormality.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That's all
I
right.
prefer it that way.
Keep people guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them on their toes.
So what's new? I haven't talked to you. Well, I mean, we talk every once in a while. We're like, are you live? Yeah. All right.
I know. I feel like these monthly recaps are very, loose because what have I been up to? Working and being pregnant.
Yep.
So not much changing, but things are slowing down now. September sucked. And you don't really realize how bad something sucks until the end of it. Because we had back-to-back wedding weekends in September.
You were traveling a lot.
Yeah. So I went to San Diego and then September happened and that was a lot of weddings. I think we had 7 weddings.
Yikes.
Between me and Madison, and we were second shooting for each other because trying to find a second shooter in these
Nightmare
niche.
I had someone reach out to me and he was like, hey, I actually want to start getting into photography. If you would ever be open to me shadowing you at a wedding, let me know. And I'm like, oh my God, I need someone on Saturday. Are you available? So now he's second shooting for me a second time Saturday.
Perfect.
I know. Thank God.
Know. It is rough. But and then we went to Colorado. And so when I got back from Colorado, I was just we both got sick. Not with COVID, but something that Eric gave us.
Yes.
We think. And so it's on top of being sick and just that come down of holy shit, I've been going nonstop for so long. And now we're in a good phase where it's we have 3 more weddings left
For the year? Are they spaced out then?
Yeah. So we have one in 2 weeks.
You have one
in
New
the
Year's
beginning of
Eve?
December. Yeah. You're helping with that.
Yes.
Because I will be 34 weeks pregnant, 35 weeks pregnant. So hopefully I'm mobile. But just being on your feet for that long is rough.
Yeah.
I can't being bigger than I mean I'm going to be much bigger than I am now. I feel like it'll be hard, but like it's at a venue. It's at Bella, so it's like a venue near us that is it's one of the most convenient venues.
Yes.
And everything's in one place. I'm not going to have to like trekking all around. Like all the photo locations are like accessible and good. And so yeah, we're hoping for the best. Feel very grateful I don't have to miss any weddings.
Yes.
So we're just working through that queue, that video queue. I keep on saying photo queue, even though I'm not really editing photo much anymore.
I thought about that the other day because I am actually completely caught up. I have one wedding left to shoot, but I have nothing to edit.
But you've never had a queue, Jeri. You've always been like, get that shit out of my brain.
Truly. And it's because I have been working 2 jobs for so long that I've been balancing. When I was teaching and doing photography, I had 30 IEPs that I had to write, and they were all throughout the year. I didn't know the majority of the kids on my list, which I don't understand how that's legal. But I also had weddings, so I'm like, all of these are legally binding dates that I have to abide by.
Yeah.
So I have to just like get into a rhythm. And luckily, when I'm editing the podcast, it's very easy for me to also cull a wedding.
Yes.
So I just freaking crank it out, and I am so happy. And I only have, I think, 2-3 weddings for 2023 total.
Yep. And then you're done. You're not going to take on any more.
Correct.
That is wild.
Because guess what I started doing? I'm writing a book.
The fuck? Really? Are both you and Sierra like together or
Well,
separately?
her and I are doing one book, and then I am writing a book myself. I'm 5 chapters in so far.
Is it the children's book or is it it's
a fiction novel.
What?
Yeah.
What the fuck is your life?
Okay, so I sat down and I get this like creative boost in the evening, but not anything that is like I don't ever feel like journaling, and then because I can't be consistent with that, and then I don't feel like writing music because I kind of need Shane for that, and he's doing his own thing as well. And so like I just thought, what if I write? What if I just start writing? And if it turns into something cool, if it doesn't, cool. I don't even know if I can do this.
Yeah, I think it's like healthy for us to work our brains in that way.
Yeah. And so I started doing it, and I'm like, I fucking love doing this. And I am getting so much. I've done a lot of healing over the last 2 years. I've done a lot of processing within the last couple months because I have a new therapist. R.I.P. Barbara. Well, she's not dead. She's just no longer my therapist. But I feel like I'm in a really good place to tell a story from an outside perspective that I think is important and deserves to be told. Yeah. So I just started, and I really like doing it.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and
I'm like, she's going to think I'm nuts that I'm now writing a book.
I would think you're nuts if you were still trying to do full-time photography and full-time podcast and then start like, that was there was a space there for a while when your podcast was just like starting to take off that I was like, hey, Jeri, you're going to need to take something off your plate, babe.
Yeah.
And you were like, haha. And I was like, I don't think this is a sustainable lifestyle that you're living. I think if anybody's going to try to live it, it's going to be you, and you're going to do it very well for a while.
Yeah, but I don't want it anymore.
Yeah. And isn't that a part? I don't know. I got to that like with the studio when I was just like, I just truly don't care anymore.
Just because I can doesn't mean that I should.
No. Just because I can doesn't mean I should. And I don't need it anymore. I don't need whatever satisfaction or like whatever like goal orientedness that was giving me. No, it's no longer
giving. It gives you a weird validation when people are like impressed that you can do something that no one else can. And like, even though it was always kind of presented to me as like a I wish I could do that. My thought always was like, I don't want to be doing this, but I like what you're saying to me so much. I'm going to continue.
Yeah. Well, and that's why you're a 3 and not a 2.
I know. Honestly, I'm coming to grips with it.
Okay, good.
I am. I am coming
Yeah.
to grips with it because a lot of the work I'm doing in therapy is like finding the middle, because I've lived so much of my life on one side of the spectrum that it feels like in order to stop being this person, I have to be the antithesis of it. And that's not true,
Right.
because healthy lives somewhere in the middle. But in the middle, I'm splitting hairs.
Yeah.
For example, I overextend myself. Shocker. I do things for people for what seem to be reasons of like, I want to look like a helper. I want to be the person to be able to fill this role for them. But did I really? Am I doing things because I want to look like a good person? Because I want them to think some type of way about me? Because that's a form of manipulation and control that I didn't even realize I was doing.
Right.
Or am I doing it because it's something I enjoy? And so now I'm having to ask myself all of these questions before I make decisions to split that hair and see what's my motive behind my action here.
Right.
And so the other night, someone asked if I would lend my drawing skills to help someone with a logo of something. And it was just a line drawing. So all I was going to do was trace and add some color and stuff. And so I said, you know what? I do want to do that. And I drew it, sent it out. Do I know that it's even going to get to her? No.
Right.
Because it was asked by a third party. But I did it not because I was trying to do what the person asked me to do or because I wanted to impress the other person. I did it because I liked the cause. I liked the idea and I knew I had the skill to do it and the time. And that's it.
Right. And I think it is different because I tested as a 2 for a long time. Because I think as a woman and in general, we're talking about Enneagrams, by the way, for anybody who's not privy to the numbers that we just throw out willy-nilly. But I think it's normal to take helping as the reason why you are like what's the point of being a human if you're not going to help people type of deal. But I realized that like I help from a very different perspective. Like I'm not just going to help. Like I kind of feel like if I'm going to help, not that I have to get something out of it, but I have to feel like you're going to get something out of it. Like I have to feel like
do you feel like you're like a rescuer?
I have that
savior complex
in me,
I do. Yeah.
For sure. But I just enjoy seeing people grow. And so I won't invest in people that don't want to grow.
Right.
Like I think especially in the photography community, a lot of people have questions. A lot of people want answers. A lot of people have feelings about things and they will just ask you questions. And I've gotten to a point where it's like, you can invest in a mentorship with me. And the mentorship is not just sitting down for coffee. The mentorship is like months long because I don't get satisfaction off of like bullshitting with someone for a couple hours and answering a couple of your questions. Like
because your time is valuable.
Right. And their time is valuable.
Right.
And it's like, if you're not going to see that, like, you're not going to see that.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I can only explain to someone so many times that like you shouldn't be shooting in manual focus.
Yes.
For a live event. You know? And if you're not going to take that advice, we're not going to be a good
I'm not
fit.
going to keep singing this song, baby, if you're not going to clap.
Right. So take with that what you wish. But
yeah,
it's definitely weird, I think, going forward and like thinking about what my life is going to look like because I am scaling back so much. We scaled back the podcast a bit with everything that's been going on with both of our personal lives. I stopped doing the studio. We're honing in on like what the business like Creative Co looks like and my editing and all of that stuff. So it's like, it'll be weird because now I'm going to add on like parenthood.
Yeah.
And all of that to be like, to see how all those other things fulfill me when I'm going to be taking on a role that will be so demanding, but also something that I've wanted for forever, Right, so it'll be, I think that's when you had a difference, when you got to be able to see like, okay, what does my life look like as a full-time podcaster versus what does my life look like as a full-time photographer, because being a full-time photographer versus being, a special ed full-time teacher was
Yes.
like, oh, the photographer, I choose a photographer. I have more
Yes.
time at home. I've got more flexibility. But then you got the other added option of like being a full-time podcaster,
Right.
which
See, the thing that not jealous, but like the thing that I am excited about for you is that you have had time to fully realize, and not fully realize like you're done, but like be able to almost like get to your sweet spot. Like I feel like Creative Co, like you guys are finding your stretch, like you are getting into like your stride with it, where you feel like this is a very authentic representation of your creative mind and who you want to be in the industry. I never got that before I had a kid.
right.
So I had to figure out who that person was while also raising a kid and figuring out how to be a mom. And so there was always a part of me that was really jealous of anyone who had the opportunity to explore that option before starting a family. And like, I also know now that that's not healthy. Like
Right.
it was because if I do something, I find my entire identity in it. And I was never going to feel whole because I was looking for fulfillment in extrinsic things. And so it's been a very weird road to learn all of these things about myself after pursuing different careers, after having a family, and now being addicted to like therapy. Which who knew?
Right.
Who freaking knew? But I think it's really cool that you're in a position that you have so much settled or kind of sorted out. Like you realize, like, I don't want this on my plate.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. I can scale back here. I can prioritize in these ways where that was not.
Right. Like when you're building a business and you're starting your family, you don't have the option to like pick and choose.
Yeah.
And I think like an interesting development that like I never mentally prepared for was like not being the breadwinner.
Yes.
Like Josh is thriving in his career and is able to like handle the bulk of our financial responsibilities, and that's never like occurred to me. Like I think in my past relationships I've just always known that like I was the hard worker.
Yeah.
Not to say like my other partners were not hard workers, but like I knew that I was the one that like I was the one that was going to have to make things work.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder if there's ever a part of you that felt like I'm going to have me. Like,
yeah,
I have to be the one who's the backbone of this situation.
Right.
And now having someone you can lean on is like, whoa.
Yeah. Like I always knew like what I was looking for in a partner, like post, divorce, was I wanted someone that had a stable job and had health insurance.
Yes.
Those were kind of my like
the bar's kind of somewhat on the floor.
Yeah. If I'm going to get married again, if I'm going to do the whole family charade situation, I'm like, I want to feel like there's someone with a stable income that can give me health insurance.
Yes. I'm in this bitch for the health insurance.
I mean, truly. It was a very big pro for me.
You're playing the long game, baby.
I'm playing the long game.
Got him.
I got that Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Hell yeah.
Don't think I don't. Don't think I don't. But it is this interesting thing of knowing that like I'm very capable of financially providing for us, but I also have a partner that is thriving in his career and loves it. I think that was hard. Like with Shane, like he did not love what he was doing. He was not passionate about it. Like he could have kept doing it.
Right. And it is hard to see your partner do that. And I think that had you not slowed down, had you kept the studio, had you had this expectation that you were going to continuously do the podcast every single week, despite feeling like you don't have the time or energy, I think there's so much of you that was stripped away when you were trying to pile so much on your plate.
Right. And I think it's okay to acknowledge, like, I think I could be fulfilled doing many things in my life. Like, I love what I'm doing right now, like telling people stories, wedding stories, love stories, relationship stories. I find a lot of fulfillment in that. But like I also find fulfillment in doing other things that involve like helping people grow. Like the moments that I've even helped you guys with your podcast, I'm like, I could do something like this. I could do other things. And I think like giving yourself permission to like, it's okay that I don't have to like feel this overwhelming like calling to something for the rest of my life. Like I know who I am, and I feel like as long as I'm doing a job that can like honor who I am.
And the thing is, you're never going to be the same person forever.
Right.
So thinking that the thing that's going to honor whoever that person is going to be one thing for the rest of your life is unrealistic.
Yeah.
And I found so much freedom in just being like, this is what I'm doing now. It feeds me now. And it may not be forever. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I've not met her yet. I don't know what her interests are. I don't know what her drive is.
Yeah. But I trust her and she's going to figure it out.
Yeah. I wonder, or is there anything that you're nervous about entering this new stage of life?
Probably.
I choose not to think about it.
I think I'm nervous. I don't know. Obviously, like the come down of those hormones, because I've done that once.
Yes.
And I wasn't even like fully pregnant. I was like 6 or 7 weeks pregnant. And those 2 weeks after losing a pregnancy are hell. And I can imagine it's not going to be much easier.
People don't talk about that, though. People don't talk about the fact that, like, just because you don't bring a baby home doesn't mean that you can't experience
postpartum.
Yes.
Yeah. So I can imagine it's insanely overwhelming as you're navigating, like, keeping a whole human being alive.
Yes.
And, like, trying to breastfeed. And I'm hoping... And I feel very, very grateful to be having a child at 29, because I feel like Barley, it's the same truck. It's the same truck that has the backup beep. I don't think I ever, when I was younger, if I were to have had a child at 23 or 24, I wasn't in a healthy place with myself to like,
give yourself grace to not do things.
Not take things on.
Yep.
Like I feel like I'm hoping I'm going to be able to like make the decisions on like what's best for me, like breastfeeding or not, you know, like having the baby sleep with us or not, having, you know, like all these things that it's easy to be like there's one right way.
Yes.
And I think I struggle with black and white thinking, so I can get pretty self-righteous and be like, no, I'm going to do this. No, I'm going to do this. And not give myself very much grace. But I feel like I'm hoping that I can navigate that as well as like I'm anticipating to.
Yes.
In that like if breastfeeding is really difficult and I feel like it's a matter of my mental health or breastfeeding, but it helps because like I saw you who formula fed, you know, both of your kids. Mm-hmm. I mean, Ollie, not all.
But it was the exact same thing. It was, I was so determined because I don't even know if it's black and white thinking. I think I just have a superiority complex. I think that I want to do things despite how hard they are.
Right.
And I don't want to feel like I feel like if I can't do something, I'm failing. Yeah. And that's not the truth. And so whenever I was trying to breastfeed Ollie and he was struggling so much to latch.
The 6 week or mark or was it all the time?
The whole time.
Okay.
The whole time I was pumping and I was getting maybe an hour of sleep and then I was like planning to go back to work. It was horrible. And I knew that I was not well, but I didn't want to fail. I didn't want to say I couldn't do it because to me that meant that I was giving up and that I was selfish and all of these negative messages were flooding my head. And after we switched to formula and he did fine.
Yeah. Some would say better.
All would say better.
Yeah.
Whenever it happened again with Forrest, it was a no-brainer. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not going to put myself
Mm-hmm.
and then subsequently everyone who is around me
Yeah.
through the trauma of experiencing me when I am not well.
Right.
So yeah.
And I think just knowing how to like prioritize yourself. And I do think like, not that being young, that people aren't able to have this like self-knowledge, but like I have a friend who, you know, I saw her recently and she had a very, very traumatic birth, like emergency C-section, but like, you know, to the nth degree. And when she woke up and tried breastfeeding, she was so traumatized.
Yep.
Just from the whole experience of like kind of thinking you're going to die.
Yes.
Kind of just that whole thing. And then now you have this whole human being. And, you know, she was able to say, like, to the lactation consultant who was being really pushy, like, do not come back here.
Good for
And, like,
her.
when they're like, we do not need your services. Like, this is not something I'm doing.
Right.
Point blank. And I think just knowing, like, having confidence with your decisions as you get older, I think it's just something that I'm going to benefit from.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
Because you don't always have that confidence. You kind of look to society and you look to people who've done it before you, like they are someone who knows everything and that they're guiding you into what to do. And you don't trust yourself. But when you trust yourself and you know that like what's true for you doesn't have to be true for me,
Yeah.
you are able to make those decisions and stand up for yourself.
Yeah. Like, of course I'd love to be able to breastfeed. I hope.
Certainly
you know,
cheaper.
right. that part I think is.
And easier to find.
Yeah. Easier, more
To
accessible.
source. Yep.
Some are saying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hopefully the factory doesn't shut down.
Yep.
But
They got these cookies you can eat.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Give
They're
me a cookie
delicious.
for anything, and I'll act
Lactate?
up. I don't know. But yeah, and I just feel like also having expectations for my partner also like, and being able to like set those expectations, you know, like a lot of my friends that had kids young, like they were single parents, even though they were married or in partnerships, because you feel this overwhelming responsibility. I feel like as a woman or as like the baby carrier to be the all provider.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the times, especially in heterosexual relationships, like men are the providers, so they get the cop out for not being the caretakers. But knowing that like I hold Josh to a different standard, and knowing that like I've communicated that, like I don't want to build resentment in my marriage.
Yes.
And in our journey of parenthood, I want us to be on the same page. And that's not to say that I'm not going to be the primary caregiver.
Right.
Because I will be the one home.
Right.
I will be the one breastfeeding. But there's an expectation of like Josh helping as much as he can.
Yes.
And he doesn't just get to like play video games.
Yep.
Because he's been at work all day. Had a hard day.
Yeah.
Like
And
I have hard day.
And I don't.
I have hard day.
Yep. I have hard day, hard night, hard afternoon, hard brunch.
Because the emotional load, like you take, the toll that it takes of being the only one to know. And that's really something I learned from you and Shane. Like Shane knew how much food the kids were getting, like how much was supposed to go in their bottles. And that was something that I really like, I enjoyed about watching your guys' formula journey, is it was like, I felt like it evened the playing field for you and Shane quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
From the beginning, because he was like, there's no reason why I can't know how many ounces my child is getting.
Right.
It's almost feeding. You're like,
well,
he's like, she has him for an hour.
I have no idea. And even if I do have him for an hour, I don't know how much he got out of there. Could be a lot, could be literally nothing. He could just be using me as a binky. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it's almost weird to think that that's not how every relationship works, because that was the expectation just forever. He wanted to be a very present, very involved dad. And I'm very grateful that when we had Forrest and Ollie was only a year, 18, 20 months old.
Yeah.
That Shane was getting up in the middle of the night with Forrest.
Right.
And he was feeding him so that I could sleep, because he knew I was going to have to get up early with them and be up with them all day, and he was going to work. And I also had a full-time job. I also had the podcast. So he tried when he could. He had commitments that made it difficult for him to be there. But he would get groceries on his way home from work or on his lunch. He would be the one to go get the diapers and the wipes. It was, what can I do?
Yeah.
I know what I can't do. But like, where are the gaps that I can fill in?
Yeah.
And now that he's home full time and he's with the kids sometimes all day while I go and I work, he's like, I can't believe you did this by yourself.
It's crazy.
How? And I'm like, yeah. And they were not as functional as they are right now.
It is truly, truly crazy. Like the amount of responsibility women will take on. And that's not to say, like, you get to decide whatever dynamic you want in your, parenting relationship or your marriage, you know. But I think, Jess and Joe started doing that fair play,
yes,
like reading that book and doing that. And Josh and I are, like, we should probably read that book. But what we've been trying out is being okay with communicating needs. So, like, being like, because we tried to do this, like, I'll do the laundry. Josh takes care of the kitchen.
Yes.
And that's just not working for us. It's just, it isn't. But what has been working for us lately is, hey, can you do the laundry today?
Yes.
Hey, can you vacuum the couch in the living room today? Because, and I don't know if this is going to be something that lasts or something that will work forever. But when we're communicating, like, hey, I'm seeing that this needs done. I threw a load of laundry in. Can you do this?
Yeah.
It helps us with communication and being okay with like asking for things, asking for help, which I think both him and I respond to because we're two adults with ADHD,
right?
Trying to operate a house, which is really hard, supremely difficult at times because we get like mess blindness.
Yep.
Until it's overwhelming and we're like, why are we so stressed out?
Yep.
Like until you got here, we had all the stuff that was in the nursery in our living room.
That makes sense.
Until we both were like, why are we feeling so stressed out? And it's like, oh, because
we're surrounded by clutter.
We're surrounded by clutter. And I was, because in our minds, we wanted the nursery to get done.
Right.
And then move the stuff that we didn't need into the garage. Can't move anything into the garage until stuff's in the nursery. And so I'm like, we're just fighting with ourselves here.
Yes, you're rearranging the priority list based on your feelings in the moment.
Right. And in reality, I'm sorry, the nursery is 20 feet that way.
Yep.
So it's not going to be that big of a deal to move it out of the nursery again and into the garage.
Yeah.
But it's just something with our ADHD brains for him and I that like I'm glad that we have the same blocks in a way because we both have a lot of grace.
It is hard to explain it to someone who doesn't also feel it.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're both trying to work on it. Like I think Josh has really been I don't know, struggling. He's probably the right word, but like seeing me completely change. Like I used to be pretty like active, jogging, walking with the dogs every single day. And ever since the first trimester, that just hasn't been something I've been physically capable of doing. Like even when my morning sickness went away towards the end of August.
Yeah. You've had huge amounts of fatigue.
Yeah, huge amounts of fatigue. And I get a lot of like ligament pains.
Yes.
And just things that it's just like, this isn't the season of activity for me.
Right.
But Josh, as a 6, as someone with anxiety, he likes to feel like you do something, I do something, which he's acknowledged isn't healthy. He's like, you don't need to go to the gym for me to go to the gym.
Yes.
He's like, but there's something about like you not that makes me feel like I don't have to. And I'm like, but your needs right now are different than my needs. And just us being able to like try to communicate through that.
It's very, Shane's talked about that before, where it's very weird for the person who isn't carrying the child to go through the pregnancy and even the birth because nothing during that time physically is changing with them while everything is changing for the person carrying the child. And so
if anything but tighten up because I can't tighten up for us.
It is bizarre for them because they're like, this huge life change happened, but it happened overnight for me because my life was able to continue like it wasn't happening. I imagine I've obviously never had a surrogate, but I imagine it would be very similar to having a surrogate where you're like, I know this baby's coming. I know I have to prepare for it. I know that my life is going to change, but like until then, I just keep rolling.
Yeah. I think it's as much of an emotional load as you're able to take on.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the things that I'm most nervous about or anything is just navigating that change and hoping that like I'm in an emotional space in my postpartum where I can like be sane.
Continue asking for what you need.
Yes, because I think it's really hard to stay sane when impossible after those hormones, but I'm hoping those 2 weeks go relatively painlessly.
I'm seeing a lot of happy crying in your future.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping.
Like you're just gonna weep onto her face.
I'm holding a lot of, I think, hope into the fact that like I've stayed on my meds.
Yes.
So I do hope that grounds me to a reality that a lot of people that go through postpartum depression and anxiety are people that haven't had mental health issues before.
Yes.
And that's not always the case, but I decided for myself to stay on all my meds because I don't care to see myself off meds and pregnant, to be quite frank. I
haven't known her in years.
I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that. I haven't known her in years, and I did not like her very much. She was a raging bitch.
She was struggling.
She was angry.
Yeah.
She has a lot of rage. So we do avoid that while pregnant, I think is good. But there have been like weird things that I've expected to experience during pregnancy that I haven't. Like I haven't had any cravings.
None?
I'm really bummed about it.
Yeah.
You had burnt bacon every day of your life.
My God. I wanted burnt bacon so badly. Shane tells people all the time, he's like, this bitch went through like 10 pounds of bacon in a week.
And good thing you had the burnt bacon craving, not now, because you know how much a pack of bacon is these days?
Well, he worked at a bacon company, so like we got it for basically nothing.
Wow.
We still have some in our fridge.
My God.
Now that my curbings have like curbed a bit. My curbings?
Your curbings?
My curbings curbed all the way off.
They curbed it all the way down to the curb.
My cravings have curbed. We still have some left over.
In the freezer, I hope.
In the
Not
freezer.
Fridge, yeah.
Yeah. No, I just like to keep it on display.
Yeah.
In memoriam.
See how green it gets.
Yeah. But I also craved lemonade and I craved buffalo chicken pizza. Buffalo chicken anything.
No, I'm still working on through like the gagging and like the nausea. Like I haven't been puking as much. I randomly puked in the sink like 2 days ago, but
Really?
it was mostly just milk. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you just say milk with an E?
Milk? I'm not a milker. Okay, I'm a milker.
Milk?
Milk. Yeah. It's a hot topic here.
Straight to jail.
I'm sorry, milk, Jeri.
Did you say pillow?
Pillow.
Okay. Do you say windowsill?
I don't know. It's not the same thing. It's like you just go. I don't know.
Do you say window seal?
I don't think I've said the word windowsill much in my life, Jeri. I don't think it's a
doesn't come up in
have
conversation.
you peered through the windowsill lately?
You've never like set that on the windowsill?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh, I used to store cups on the windowsill all the time.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No, I mean, I understand that there's an I in there, but I've never said it that way.
Oh, okay. So
But
you
I'm not
just like being wrong?
Yeah, and then I'm not going to fight about it. You know, I'm not. It's not. Hey,
It's the hill I'm dying on.
There are worse things going on right now.
Fair. Okay, that's fine. You can have your milk.
Remember when Kanye West lost his mind? I think that was one of the things I was going to start with, but oh my God.
The platforms that these people are giving.
I'm thankful for Spotify that like even if you have like a mix, like one of my favorite Spotify playlists is Hot Boy Coffee Run. And there are a couple of Kanye songs on there, but I can just say not interested.
Yep.
Don't play that one.
Not interested in him.
Is it a great song? Maybe.
Doesn't matter anymore.
I don't care anymore. It's just Josh, and I'm very grateful that the companies that have had sponsorships with him and everything and
are pulling out.
And Josh said, I didn't check this for myself. I didn't fact check it, but someone's got to be Jess this episode. That that J.P. Morgan Chase said you can't keep your money in our banks anymore. Which is
I hope that's true.
I hope that's true too, because I just cannot with it. Like, I'm not one to feel bad for billionaires, but like, could you imagine having children with someone like that?
No.
Multiple children. I mean, a nightmare beyond hell.
Yes.
Truly. Not that,
We have said constantly, having a mental health disorder is not your fault, but you are responsible for your actions. Yeah. And I don't know if he's off his meds, on his meds, if he's manic, whatever is happening. I don't know, but I don't care.
No. Because
what's coming out of his mouth is endangering people.
Right.
And it is reinforcing horrible. This kind of thought process caused people to lose their lives. Right. Millions.
Right.
And you're going to use your platform to make comments that are seemingly throwaway to you that are causing people to stand on a bridge in LA and declare their devotion to something horrific.
Right. It is absolutely beyond, but I'm glad that hopefully some action gets taken. And guys, let this just be, I felt this way like with like Chris Brown and everything. It's like, why are we allowing men with histories of abuse to just be on the radio?
Yep.
To just keep making money off of us. Like, I just remember, like, Chris Brown was on a Drake album, and I was like, what are we doing?
I know. People say, like, separate the artist from the art, and I'm like, no. I don't know that I can.
Who gets to do that?
I know.
Politicians don't get to do that.
Right?
Women politicians, dude, really don't get to do that.
Do you watch YouTube?
Do I watch YouTube?
Yes.
I've heard of it.
Okay. I'm familiar with the platform.
But I don't, like, scroll YouTube.
Okay. So, I am an avid YouTube watcher.
Okay.
Okay? And the ads on there, the political ads on YouTube right now are fucking bonkers.
Some of them are from Parks and Recreation.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, so-and-so loves Joe Biden. He loves Nancy Pelosi. Ooh, and there's like kissing sounds and bubbles popping and Cupid's arrows. I'm like, you're running for government.
Where are we?
What, in the Looney Tunes commercial? You're absolutely not, sir.
And guys, I'm going to come clean about something, and I'm going to own it because I'm a part of the problem. Because voter suppression is real. And when I turned 18, beep, 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 how did I register to vote? Went to the DMV. And they were like, you want to register to vote? I said, yeah. Great. Okay. And then I was registered to vote. Moved to Oregon. Registered to vote.
Yep.
Changed my address in February to this address. I assumed that meant
you were registered?
Registered to vote here. No. I had to fill out something else because I got my voter card to my mom's house. And I just thought, whatever, I'll be able to vote in the midterms. And then a week after I get this card, I look on and I'm past the point of changing my address. You have to change your address 5 weeks in advance before the elections.
What?
Which is just stupid.
Because people can register to vote like same day, can't they? In Ohio?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. I have no idea. I can't speak for what other people can do.
Right.
But what I can say is I can't vote in the midterm elections this year because I changed my address, and it would be illegal for me to like bring my passport to like yeah. I'm sure I could find a way to like sneaky, but it would be illegal. And we're not going to be illegal here. But
well, not now that it's recorded.
This isn't a message to say, hey, make sure you're registered to vote because I'm pretty sure it's too late. But
in the case that it's not,
I'm done with this shit happening. I'm just so over it. I don't understand why. Like I know why people make it hard to vote, but I just think it's ridiculous. It's like I'm an American citizen that has registered to vote. Can we go ahead and assume I'd like to vote at any time
Yes.
at any address?
Listen, I'm not one to plug myself, but we did an episode about Stacey Abrams and voter suppression. And if you guys are unaware of what voter suppression is, or the things that are still happening in government today that is making it difficult for people, especially people of color, to vote, you can listen to it. It's packed with a lot of information. Or
when did you record that one?
right before the presidential election.
Right. Okay. Because I know I listened to that, but it was a long time ago.
Yes. Yeah, it was. It was right before the election, because it was important to us to let people know that, like, this whole idea of voter fraud and it just was such a bunch of misinformation, like,
Yeah,
usual.
of course. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
Then
everybody
Georgia
be
turned blue.
vigilant and please vote if you can. Please
Yes.
vote if you're registered too and you didn't move and accidentally not know that they wouldn't want you to vote in your new address.
Yeah.
Because literally, if you move apartment buildings,
Mm-hmm. In the same city?
yes, like if you move down the hall, because like on your ID, it has to be exactly where you live.
But mine wasn't. I got to vote in the 2020 election and mine was not. Oh, great.
Hey, we don't know. We don't know what's right and what's wrong.
They let me do it.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
In the book, it was registered correctly. I just didn't update my license yet.
I don't know.
I don't know.
My problem is my ID is updated. And my yeah.
Damn. You
Damn.
live and you learn.
We do my dog is so weird.
I love him.
I do too.
He's going to be
But
missing and he's going to be at my house.
Are there anything for me that you wish to share about what you think my journey is going to be like? Or
I'm very excited. I'm
Yeah.
very excited because you have just such a maternal, like, being, like, aura about you that I think that it's just going to I don't know, whenever situations like this happen, in situations, I don't mean pregnancy, I just mean
Okay.
like life-changing events.
Right, yeah.
I get really excited to meet whoever the version is of my person on the other side of that. And
Mhm.
so, like, I'm excited to see the Rachel that enters motherhood and the relationship that you have with Elsie and what that does to your relationship with Josh, and getting to see you watch Josh's relationship with her.
Yeah.
Like, it
I'm
is
so excited for that.
it's a complete change, and I'm very excited to meet whoever she is and whoever you are with her.
I know.
But I think you're going to be great.
I hope so. I hope that
I think you're going to have a much
I
easier
hope
time
I still
in
feel like
postpartum.
me.
You will.
Just a grown version of me. Like I'm just expanding.
I think that you have such a solid sense of self that that's not even going to be a question.
I hope so. But you never know.
No, you don't. You can't be certain about anything.
No, we cannot. But thanks, guys, for listening to the update featuring Jeri.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Don't know what we talked about.
Me neither. When I took one of my 6,000 pee breaks a little bit ago, I'm like, what is this episode even about?
Hey, it's the catch up.
It is.
We get to decide.
Welcome to the catch-up corner.
Another thing we can talk about Jeri before it's irrelevant. Sorry.
Okay.
But I don't think this is going to be very interesting for you and I to talk about because I know I think where we both stand.
Okay.
But Taylor Swift came out with a new album.
Yes.
Did you listen?
A couple.
Yeah.
A couple.
We're not Swifties.
We're not Swifties, and I said this on a live. Swifties make it very difficult to enjoy Taylor Swift just as an artist. It feels like they gatekeep a little bit. That's like,
Okay.
if you're not going to fully immerse yourself in the fantasy world that is Swift world, then, like, how dare you even claim? And maybe that's not everyone, but I'm very intimidated by it.
Yes.
So
But like,
if I listen, no one will know because I
Right.
don't want to talk about it.
right.
I don't want to look at Easter eggs.
I know, because some people want us to do an album review, but it's like no album review will ever be what Olivia Rodrigo's album review was. And I don't know what it was about that album because it's like, I love pop music. So I know that's not my issue with Taylor Swift. It's not like I'm like an indie only like gal. It's like, I love pop music, but it's just, I don't have that connection that some people have with Taylor Swift. I think because like I really pretty much vehemently disliked Taylor Swift until maybe like 2 years ago.
Same.
And then like I was a folklore, like I liked that album and I'm like, okay.
We were on the same journey, my friend.
I know. And the patriarchy's to blame.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I like it. It hasn't changed my life. And it's not Olivia Rodrigo sour. I'm waiting for like truly I've felt honestly empty inside.
Really?
Since that album. Because
the drama.
It was so good to me. Like to have an album that you can just like sing and scream and be like, bitch. I'm like, that girl was
a catharsis.
Yes. So I don't know.
I don't know if I have anything like that.
People were that passionate about Taylor Swift in the way that I'm passionate about Olivia Rodrigo, and they got to grow up with her. And I feel like if you have that, journey,
that's a long journey. She's been with people like for a decade,
longer probably.
Yeah,
because she's been like,
she opened up for Rascal Flatts when I went one time,
right? Like since we were probably in middle school.
Yeah, I think I was in high school, but yeah.
So I don't know. If you love it, I'm so happy. I don't find it's a good like no skipper. That's how I felt about.
Have you listened to the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I've done full car listen.
Maybe I'll do that on the way home.
Yeah. So
I probably won't.
I'm gonna do this. No, I'm not.
I've been watching a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race while I drive. I just turn it on. I don't physically watch it.
What?
But like, yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
You
what do I
listen
mean?
to it?
Yeah.
You listen to it
I do.
like a podcast?
Yep.
But you can't see anything?
Correct.
That's weird, Jeri.
Yeah, it certainly is.
There's
It
probably
certainly is.
Drag race podcast.
He does have a podcast.
Oh.
Listen, I am who I am. Let me have this.
You do what you need to do.
I know it.
But okay, I think those were my current events I wanted to touch on was Kanye and Taylor Swift.
Well, the irony that they're both having their fucking moments right now.
They are having moments. But
she's like, I'll let you finish having your mental breakdown, but I'm gonna drop this album real fast.
And it's a good one. But I'm sure it's better for people that really, really love it.
Yeah.
Any other pieces of advice for the For Better and Worse world?
No.
Good.
No. I mean, I wondered when you guys were done shooting, because I figured that would be about the time, like when you both were slowing down, that you would think about going more, uploading more frequently.
Yes.
But
we are going to see. But everybody just send Jess your love. She is okay, to clarify.
Yes. Yeah.
Just the whole, when you're going through it. When it rains, it pours kind of thing. So, keep everyone in Jess's sphere, in the good vibes arena. And yeah, she will hopefully be back soon to fill everybody in on what she's been going through. But that's not the place for me to talk about. That is her life and her story. But thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
We miss you. We do miss you. Me and Jess miss you, and I'm sure Jeri missed you too.
I did miss you. I missed you.
I miss you too. Go get some food.
Yeah. Well, maybe I have to pick Ollie up.
Oliver.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Classic.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for being here, Jer.
Anytime.
Goodbye from us
Bye.
and the dogs. Bye.
See ya.